What do you think about the Indian culture? What are the things that shocked about the Indian culture? Like, what do you think about it?
Um, I think the most, I don't know, particularly noteworthy thing about Indian culture is just how complex it is. There's
Mm-hmm.
just so many different languages, so many different, like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, just like back in high school, I took an AP World History class, and we did a
Mm-hmm.
month that was just on like a kind of a summary of the history of India.
Oh wow.
And it was, I mean, it went by so fast
Mm-hmm.
because there was just so much depth there and so many different like kingdoms that rose and fell and just all of this different
Mm-hmm.
like cultures within India
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
just like it's kind of mind-boggling to an outsider, I think.
Yeah, that's
um,
true.
and I think there's a tendency definitely for like Americans to look at India and see them as one people or like one culture. Where
Mm-hmm.
we can look at like Japan, and for the most part, Japan is pretty homogenous throughout the islands,
Yeah, true.
but India is very diverse in like where these different people are coming from and what languages they speak and their history and stuff. So
Yeah. Over here, like we have like 20,000 of different languages and different grammar,
Mhm.
different script they use. Because back in the day we used to have like a Sanskrit as a language, which is known as like a very like ancient scholars they used to speak a lot over here because that's a quite I would say a very perfect language. I would say like a very I would
Mhm.
say uh like how, I don't know what is a perfect word for English like it's like the numbers. Do you remember the Mendeleev's periodic table? He used the way of like a Sanskrit language to like literally classify the elements into that. And you might be seeing
Mm.
the Indiana Jones, like he's reading the Devanagari script, and you can see like how Sanskrit language can be so perfect for programming and things like that. The
Mm.
Interstellar movie, which also portrays that things. So
Yeah.
yeah, uh, I would say like yeah, the Indian culture over here, of course, like so many significance to the world
Yeah.
history
Yeah.
because no reason why all of these European languages we see they have like a Indo-European because these languages emerge out of from India, like
Mhm.
the subcontinent, I would say, like
Mhm.
so a lot of like a different perspectives and things like that. The mathematicians we used to exist, like they were like the Pythagoras theorem, like
Mhm.
the whole the concept. There was like the Indian mathematician. He actually not I would say invented, but he like quoted the thing that this is how the right angle triangle like will look like, or things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was like somebody literally talk about gravity. In Hindi we say gurutvakarkshan, and in English it says gravity. So you can see like how the
Mhm.
words like has that things. But he did not like invented a formula or something. Of course Isaac Newton invented it,
Mhm.
but the things it used to exist back in the day, and especially over here, like the geography in English language it says geography, but in Hindi we say bhugol. Bhu means land, gol means circle. So we already knew that the earth is like circle. Like we never believed there is like a flat earth or something. So it's quite like
Okay.
interesting, like as I go through the stuff and things like that, a lot of credit goes into like a Western scientists and things like that. But the Indian
Mm.
scientists and Indian mathematicians, they are like too much, like repressed, or like not too much talked about or something. You have to do a lot of like research and things like that in order to like
Yeah.
see the differences.
Yeah, and even with like the golden age of Islam, there were many, many,
Oh
many
yeah,
scholars
many
and
scholars. Yeah,
mathematicians,
the yeah
scientists
yeah the
who
I
you can learn
remember.
about.
Yeah, I remember like the Arabs, especially they came to India. We had a very famous university. It's called Nalanda University, which was destroyed by the Ottoman
Okay.
Empire, or I would say the Turks.
Mhm.
They destroyed it, but they sure took a lot of knowledge and transferred, or like I would say, they passed it to the Europe, and the Europeans never give credit to like the Arabs or I would say the Indians. They're like
Yeah.
everything popped up out of over here, and we are like polymaths or something. It's quite interesting, like how they portray themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey. So, what is the like a most shocking thing? Like, especially the pop culture, as far as like, did you listen to like the music, especially from India or something? What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, I would had my iPod, and I would listen to Prabhu Deva on there. um,
What about Benny
I
Lava?
I don't.
I have seen
Yeah,
it a lot.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I was honestly like a pretty big fan of his back then. I
Dude,
had
the
quite a
dancing
few of his
girls,
songs in
yeah.
my iPod, and
Mhm,
my
mhm.
AP World History teacher let me borrow a copy of Joda Akbar.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I'd watch that, and that was kind of, I guess, my introduction into like
Mhm,
Bollywood. I guess.
mhm, mhm.
Um, I
Yeah.
thought that movie was really cool.
Yeah, that movie is really great for its time. It was about like the Turkish, I would say Turks kingdom. Not I would say Turkish, but the Turks kingdom in India, and
Mm.
like how the Taj Mahal was the consequence. If you go to Delhi,
Mhm.
you would see a lot of like the influence of these
Yeah.
Muslim empires. Of course, at the cost of the indigenous Hindu people over here, and that's just how the colonization worked, right? Like you destroy them
Mhm.
and you build your own and things like that. And so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, dude, it was a really fun talking to you, man. Thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.